Hey guys, today I'm going to be bringing you my review of The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. And for those who might be concerned about spoilers, don't worry, because in this video, this will be my spoiler-free review. Now, starting off, I do want to say that this has been a very, very welcome piece of Tolkien adaptations. Now, I'm not going to go and say that this is all lore, because they even make a point in the movie to mention that this is not a regular Tolkien story, which is fine. That's totally okay. I wasn't upset with that. It actually was a really, really nice breath of fresh air to be able to have something that wasn't really focused on the events of the War of the Ring and anything concerning Sauron or Morgoth in this film. I will say a few things. I really, really, really enjoyed the animations. I thought the animations in the movie were really, really smooth. I thought the artwork was gorgeous. I really, really want to give huge shout outs to the art department, the illustrators, animators, all of that kind of stuff, because the film looked absolutely gorgeous. And once again, in terms of Lord of the Rings, the music does not miss. It was exactly what you would want music to sound like, and especially since I was able to go and see it in theaters, the music just felt incredible to be able to listen to a Middle-earth score while sitting in a theater. Now, I'm not going to say that you absolutely have to go see it in theaters, because you don't, but I would highly, highly, highly recommend, if you can, go see it in theaters, because it was very, very good and very worth it. I really enjoyed the characters. I think they were very well written. There really wasn't anybody that I was like, I don't really understand why you're here, which is something that I do very much appreciate about the story, because there are a lot of characters, and one of my biggest pet peeves in movies is when there are forced characters that don't really add anything to the story. Overall, I really enjoyed it. Again, the story I did really enjoy as well. I think the plot was great, and like I said, I'm not going into too many spoilers, so you won't get too much of like an in-depth review from me. I do have one big critique that I do want to talk about, and that is I did find the plot to be kind of predictable. I'll break down that a little bit more in my spoiler-filled review as opposed to this spoiler-free one, but I was able to kind of figure out exactly where the plot was going to be going as the movie progressed, and it was kind of easy to figure that out, but that really did not hurt my enjoyment of the movie overall. It just kind of was like, okay, this is exactly where I expected this to go. And so I'm not, like I said, not going to dive into that too much, because I don't want to get into the realm of spoilers. But either way, like I said, phenomenal movie. I would highly recommend watching it. I would give it probably around an 8.5 out of 10 if I were to give it that. One thing I will recommend, though, is don't try and compare it to Peter Jackson's other works. This is something that I thought about doing, but I really could not find a way that I enjoyed to compare it to Peter Jackson's works, because it was a very, very different adaptation than what Peter Jackson created in the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogies. They do follow along in the similar sort of quote-unquote universe, however you want to look at that, but they were so different that I genuinely don't think you can compare the two and have it really still make sense. It's still great. I definitely would still say that it is a phenomenal movie. Well, not phenomenal. I wouldn't give it a phenomenal, but I would say that it is a really good movie, and I would definitely recommend going and watching it. But don't try and compare it to Peter Jackson's other works, because there's a lot of things that it does differently, and it feels like a completely different thing than what we're used to seeing in other Tolkien work, especially ones by Peter Jackson and Philippa Boyens. So don't expect anything like, don't try and compare it to the other stuff, because it's just too different to even think about them on the same level or think about them in similarity in any way, shape, or form. But either way, like I said, I really enjoyed the movie. I wanted to keep this review kind of short, and I know I kind of rambled a little bit about a few things, but I'll be breaking down a lot more things in a little bit more of an organized manner when I get into the spoiler-filled review, because I do want to go into some depth about things and really talk about a lot of the things that I enjoyed and a lot of the things that I would even say could probably be improved upon. But either way, I would say for a animated Middle-earth adaptation, we're off to a really great start for if we are going to be looking at more Middle-earth animations in the future. Anyways, that's all for this video. That's all for this quick review, quick spoiler-free review. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. Please refrain from posting any spoilers down in the comments, since the whole point of this is for people to get a non-critic perspective while also being able to figure out a review for it and whether or not they want to go see it. But like I said, I highly recommend going and seeing it. I enjoyed it, and I think if you are a Middle-earth fan or a fan of good medieval war stories, you will enjoy this movie. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. You are loved, you are valued, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Goodbye, everybody.